Hey guys, Dave here. Just figured I'd make a quickie with Dave about the 3-year anniversary of Everybody Dies, Malay Station, the channel as a whole. I'm working, so I'm trying to do this while working the graveyard shift in between random customers needing something or whatever. So I'm watching the security cameras while I do this, so if I have to cut and restart, that's why. And this is going to be filed under a Quickie with Dave episode, but like most of those, it's probably going to be a longer video than, most of the actual Everybody Dies episodes. So, anyway, sorry if I feel distracted. If I seem distracted, I guess I don't know what I'm talking about. It's really late and I'm really tired. Let's see here. I just want to talk about the past, present, and future of Everybody Dies. So to start with the past, I figured I'd talk about some canceled projects, things that, if you notice on the Facebook page, I say a lot of times I'm going to do this or that, and then I just never do it. I change my mind. Something comes up. It happens. But one of the big things I wanted to do was a music episode where I talked about soundtracks in horror movies, and how it ranges everything from like synth scores to just straight up adding metal and rock and roll songs onto the soundtrack, whether it fits or not. Oh, and then I realized with YouTube, I'll have so many copyright strikes, I'll just end up losing the fucking channel as a whole. So I know Ray Mattis was really looking forward to that, and sorry, man, but it's just not gonna happen. Way too much copyright drama that I gotta fucking deal with. So, another video that I said I was gonna do, and this was a big one, and I still get shit for not actually doing this one, was part 2 to the Night Before Easter episode. I was going to do an interview with the directors, Joseph Henson and Nathan Johnson. And I did ask them the questions, and they sent me their replies. They were nice enough to waste their time doing that for me. I don't know. I had this idea in my head, and it seemed funnier. And then when I went to actually start to do it, it just didn't seem funny at all. And then the time just kept going, and it kept building up. And I was like, it's not going to live up to expectations. So for those of you that wanted to watch it, it was basically me just asking, basic questions about the filming of their movie The Night Before Easter. And every time I asked Nathan a question, I was going to show a picture of Fabio. And then I had my friend Zach Hoffer do like a bunch of like hunky sounding accents and stuff. And he read Nathan's answers. And then every time I asked Joseph a question, I was going to show a picture of a piece of shit, and then just basically have my friend James go, duh, or just make fart noises the whole time. I don't know. It sounded funny at first, and then I started to do it, and it seemed even too lowbrow for me, which is really saying something. I was also going to show me on camera asking the questions. And in each shot, I was going to be wearing a different outfit, have my hair a different way, doing something crazy. And it all just seemed really fucking stupid, so I just stopped and never got around to doing it, so. Sorry for wasting all your time, guys. Season 3, I originally had 10 episodes planned, just like season 1 and 2. I was going to do The Night Before Easter for episode 8. Episode 9 was going to be Dr. Gore. And the finale was going to be Skin Deep. Well, I forget what it was exactly. I don't know if it was just life was hitting me hard around that time, which I think it was, with unemployment and just no money, depression, all that fun shit. So I just ended up cutting it short. And I thought The Night Before Easter, my friend's movie, was a good enough finale to end on. So then I was like, okay, well, I can do Dr. Gore later. But honestly, when I rewatched it, I started to write the script for it. I like the movie. But there's not enough in it to really make an episode about, and I've been having that problem with this season. A lot of movies I picked ahead of time, and then when I went to go rewatch them, I was like, there's not a whole lot I can say about these, or so many jokes that I can make. And that's why a lot of the episodes this season are really, really short, like 10 minutes or less, because I just kind of jumped the gun, or there were movies people wanted me to do, so I just wanted to get them out of the way. And then that way I could focus on episodes that I knew were going to be a bigger project. But then I, of course, was going to reuse Skin Deep, and that is the finale for this season now. And we'll talk more about that later. Speaking of movies I was going to review and then never did, the selection of when I first created Everybody Dies, and I asked on Facebook what movie people thought I should pick first. And I ended up using all of those choices except for Coffin Baby, aka Toolbox Murders 2. Now, I still plan on doing a video. It may not be an Everybody Dies episode, but it will be a video comparing Coffin Baby and Toolbox Murders 2, because they're two very different versions due to copyright and a whole lot of drama, and I really want to make a video about it. It's just I would have to rewatch them in order to write that video, and I don't want to, because they're both really, really bad. So, might still be a while, but I do plan on eventually doing that one. Speaking of things and episodes, I would make the season I was working on, and then I would have 2 or 3 seasons planned after that. And then I would take the break, and then I would go and I would just get a better idea. Or, at first I had a set, like how I would pick the movies for the season. Number 1 would be an anthology. Number 2, I think, would be like a cannibal movie or zombie movie. And then just so forth and blah, blah, blah. And then eventually I was just getting tired of being held down by that formula. And then when I cut it down to 8 episodes per season, I just got rid of that formula altogether. And now I just pick what episodes I want. Try to still stagger them out. So have like a really good opener, a couple episodes, a really good middle, usually the holiday special. And then, of course, the finale, I'm going to have a really good one. So, yeah. I think a lot of those, I ended up doing all the different movies in one form or another. I still have a long list of ones I want to cover eventually, but nothing I'm too overly enthusiastic about. But yeah. And the last canceled project I want to talk about, and this is a big one, was Everybody Dies, the movie. I know if you stuck by after the end credits of one of the finales, I think season 2, I teased it, and I was going to do the movie and then do season 3, and then COVID happened, and I realized we're all adults now, we all live far apart, me and my friends, and we never see each other anyway. So it'd be almost impossible to actually film this thing unless I did everything myself and I played all the characters, and honestly, I don't get enough views on the channel to really warrant doing all that, and I don't know if enough people even watch the skits or even catch on that this show does have lore, because when I first made it, I didn't want to just do reviews. I wanted to put little things in there and see if people would notice, and then eventually it would all come together as a movie. And the basic gist is the whole 1992 thing. Anytime I review a movie, since I think season 2, if it was released in 1992, I got sent back in time to 1992, and then I would do stupid skits with my friend James, and he would play a time scientist or a time wizard and bring me back to the present. Well, this last time, it is the Axum review part 2, I believe. There was a cut scene where, at the end, Dave gets sent back to his regular time, but then it was going to show that another Dave, because Dave was watching the Dave from that. It's really confusing. If you've ever seen Time Crimes or Primer, it's kind of like that. Basically just ripped it off completely. I went back in time, and then in another episode, I went back in time again, but I had to make sure that Dave did what he needed to in order for this Dave to get back to his time then. Makes perfect sense, right? Okay, well, there was going to be a third Dave, and this one was crazy and covered in blood, and he was going to kill the second Dave and replace him in his timeline in the current day. I shot the scene, used some really old fake blood that had been laying around for literally 10 years or longer, probably. And it just looked orange and looked like spaghetti-o sauce. So, yeah, I just cut that scene because it looked really fucking bad. Anyway, I had made... Every episode I had this bracelet that was actually my grandmother's that she left me after she passed. And I wore it on usually this wrist. I think sometimes I switched it up. But I made sure to wear it every Everybody Dies episode. And then in one episode, I think Detour, I forgot to wear it. And then when I was coming up with the idea for the movie, I decided to use that. And I was going to be like, that was an anomaly or something. And that was the third crazy Dave that killed the other Dave, was actually that Dave in the episode of Detour. And that's why he was like super pissed and everything. Like more so than usual, through the table, blah, blah, blah. And then the basic plot of the movie was going to be, it turns out that, well, Dave is stuck in 1992. He has to get back home, and he has to fight the evil Dave. And then it turns out that the evil Dave was created by Abe from Abe's Tomb, but I was going to call Abe from Abe's Cave to avoid copyright stuff. And I was going to have Dave... I keep calling him Dave, but it's a character version of me. It's not me, but whatever. It's confusing. So I had this big elaborate thing. He was going to go through this whole journey, and basically the movie was going to be me wanting to review Bloody Murder finally, because I had been building up to that ever since I created the show. And I didn't want to do it right away. I wanted to build it up and make this big deal about it. And the whole movie was going to be me trying to review Bloody Murder, but the world and heaven and hell and everywhere in between was doing everything they could to stop me because everyone hates that fucking movie but me. So, the gist was me going through all this crap, all this drama, fighting Abe, the time travel, everything, just so I could review Bloody Murder. And then at the end, I was going to finally get to Abe's cave, and Abe was going to be there and be a cheap Halloween costume, and it was building up to him being this big villain, and I was just going to like smack him, and then he dies because he's a Halloween decoration. And basically I have a lot of references from the movies that I reviewed. I was going to have a lot of stuff in there, like I had to recite all of the ABCs of death from the first movie in order to access the cave to begin with. And I was going to try to do it like from memory, and that would have taken so many takes, and just, yeah, that would have been impossible without reading off cue cards or something. And then it was going to turn out that I was going to I could review Bloody Murder, but it would literally kill me. So I would review the movie, get weaker and weaker, and then at the end, I would stop being so angry and just learn to be happy. And now that I reviewed Bloody Murder, I could die happy, and it was going to be really sad. I was going to have these end credits with a song called Dog by Ages Old, which is my friend Mitch King's band. Really, really good. Fuck, I love that song. And I was going to use that at the end, and it was going to be like I actually died, and it was going to have a slideshow and everything like they show at your funeral. It was going to be so ridiculously sad. And just, without access to people and time, I'm just working all the time now. And then it's also it would have been for me, like a vanity project. Like, who the hell would have watched that or understood any of it? Like, I'm literally explaining to you in this video what the point was and what was going to happen, and it probably still doesn't make any fucking sense. But so now I've kind of just dropped the lore, because you'll notice I was going to do the movie in between seasons 2 and 3, I believe, because in the season 3 opener, for some reason, you don't know why, because I didn't do the movie, Dave is dead, fucking Dave is dead, and I have the whole, my friend Heather horror dancing, and that resurrects me. It doesn't really make any sense now, because I didn't do the movie in between where I die and then I resurrect, and it was just going to go back to normal, no more lore, none of that nonsense. The skits were going to stop. It was just going to be reviews, because everything I was leading up to was already done. So I figured I would do season 3 anyway, and then just do the movie later, and then eventually I just kind of gave up on the whole thing, because it just seemed too ridiculous. I'm honestly not getting enough views on the YouTube channel to really warrant anything like that. I mean, I love the views that I get. I love, the few fans that I do have. So it's worth doing for you guys, and I do it for myself because it's fun. And that's why sometimes I'll take long breaks, because I don't want to do it because I have to. I mean, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not monetized. I'm doing this for free. I'm doing this for fun. It's not a job. I wish it was, so I could quit this job and just do videos and talk about horror all day. Something I would love to do, but it's just the luck of the draw, So, but yeah, that's basically some past and canceled projects and stuff I wanted to talk about. So now let's talk about the present. Season 4, we're about done. Season finale is going to be Skin Deep. Going to finally cover that. I'm going to try to make it a long episode, use as much footage as I can, and see how many copyright strikes I get. But I really want to tear this fucking movie apart, and I think it's going to be really funny. So I decided it'll be even funnier if I do it drunk. I mean, it's one thing to do a drunk cast, like the Hysteria Continues has done drunk cast. It's a podcast, so it's easy to get drunk, have a bunch of people together. It's another thing to try to do my style of video drunk. So I'm kind of just going to record myself watching the movie, and then just, plastered. And then when I sober up, just try to take that and put it over footage of the movie at times that I think I might have been talking about it. It's probably not going to work at all. And I might go back and then just make a normal make a normal episode. Because honestly, I don't know if this is going to work at all. But if it does, I think it'll be pretty funny. I hate these new glasses. The reflection is terrible. My old glasses never had this, but these are cheap garbage, so I'm sorry. The only other thing currently going on, I did join TikTok. I call it Dave Talk. I hate it. The fucking app is a cancer, but you know what? These short videos I can crank out, throw a bunch on there, and honestly, I get a lot more views on there than I ever do on YouTube. I mean, I'm not going to put full-length episodes and long shit on there, but I am just quick little videos, quick little reviews, and even just dumb stuff like the teaser for the Skin Deep episode, where it's just plates coming out, throwing the plate, hitting the guy in the face. 50 views on YouTube. On TikTok, I have over 10,000 views. Never had that on anything on YouTube, and probably never will again. So just so stick around for TikTok. Look up fucking Dave Molestation. I have some other shit on there too, but speaking of that, let's talk about the future of Everybody Dies and the channel. Speaking of TikTok, I am going to have an exclusive, as in it's not going to be on YouTube, only on TikTok. I don't know when I'm going to do it, because all my movies, for the most part, are in a fucking storage unit that I never have time to go and dig through. I am going to try to bring Take 5 back, but make a TikTok version. Maybe make it Take 3, because I think their limit on videos is 3 minutes. And maybe I won't even time myself or anything. It's just I'll pick 3 movies, and then however long it takes, it takes. So we'll see. I know a lot of you guys wanted me to bring that back, but on YouTube, honestly, I did like 50, 60 episodes of those, and 10 views or less on each one. Just not worth it. But now it's been so long, and a lot of those videos I pulled out just randomly, and it was like I couldn't remember anything, or I hadn't seen them. I've watched most of the ones that I hadn't seen at the time. So if I start over fresh, a lot of people will be their first time seeing it, so it doesn't even matter if I covered it before. So I do plan on bringing some kind of version of Take 5 to TikTok, along with little videos here and there. After the finale, I am going to take a long break. I might be back by the holidays for the next season of Everybody Dies, but we'll see. I just feel like this season, a lot of the episodes I just cranked out to get done, and I kind of hate myself for it, but I kept putting it off, and I don't know. Depression will do that, but I'm also working on my book. I guess that's another thing I should have brought up in the present. 13 Black Gloves. Digital only because it's too short to release in print. I do plan on doing a few more Jali, depending on the sales of this one. And then I'll release them in a collection on print, because then it'll be worth actually, putting on paperback or maybe even hardcover. But that comes out April 7th. I really hope you guys like it. I stopped the Western stuff, and it's just more like a homage or a love letter to the giallo genre. And even if you just like slashers, crime detective stuff like that, I think you'll like this. And like I said, it's really short, so it won't take up too much of your time. And I appreciate anybody. Pre-order is up right now on Amazon. Like I said, it comes out April 7th. If you'd like to buy that, I would very much appreciate it. The only other thing, I'm coming up with ideas for season 5 of Everybody Dies. I had a couple different ideas. One was Davorites, where I do some of my favorite movies, but are still might be, that I can make fun of, but I do still like them. Eventually leading to one certain movie that I may have already mentioned that it's past due that I finally fucking cover. Another idea was metal or rock and roll horror movies. Think like Trick or Treat or Rock and Roll Nightmare. Cheesy 80s horror stuff. Finally review Monster Dog, maybe, so Derek Taylor will shut the fuck up about it. He's the only person that wants me to watch that piece of shit. I've already seen it. I don't want to watch it again. I'm sorry, Alice Cooper. I love you, but goddamn. And then another idea I had was Universal monster movies, but shitty. So, like, I would do a shitty vampire movie. Not necessarily from Universal, but I would do a shitty mummy movie, a shitty Frankenstein's monster type movie. Stuff like that. I think that could be fun. But let me know what you guys think. I might come up with a completely different idea. Like I said, I still have a long list of movies I want to cover on Everybody Dies, so we'll see. But 3 years, I had to actually look it up. I was like, it's been 2 years. No, it's been 3 years. This is the 3-year anniversary. I didn't even know. Seems crazy. But it's also because I don't do one season a year either. I'll do one, and then I'll wait like till the middle or the end of the year, and then I'll start the next one. So that's why we're, almost done with season 4 already in just 3 years. But that's pretty much it. Sorry this isn't more exciting or anything, but I'm at work, and I'm always fucking working. So I figured I would just sit here and blab, and like I knew this was going to be a quickie video, but it's already... I've cut and stopped so many fucking times. So yeah, this is going to be a long fucking video, but who's surprised? But alright guys, thank you for watching. Couldn't do this without you. I appreciate everything. And as always, I take suggestions, just whatever, I want to have guests on the show. I rewatched the Abe's Tomb episode. I fucking love it. It's still so funny. And Tim Chestnut, really, that's thanks to you, that I even did the episode. And then your footage that you gave me and gave me a copy of the movie to even, you know, without that I couldn't have reviewed it. So thanks everyone, thanks for watching. I hope you like the finale. I'll be working on that sometime in April. I'll let you know when I figure it out. But alright guys, thanks for everything. See ya.